very special train journey begins here in Toronto and travels a distance of 4,500 kilometres to Vancouver. The 3-day journey promises discovery, adventure and momentous nature, and also lively modern cities and old traditions. In the Native American Indian language, Toronto means meeting place, which is an apt description for this city. The capital of Ontario province is one of Canada's leading centres of commerce. The city is full of art and culture, with several impressive museums, a large variety of theatres, and a successful movie industry. Toronto grows and grows. Hypermodern skyscrapers, consisting of aluminium and glass, contrast sharply with richly decorated Victorian 2-storey buildings made of wood and stone. The old and the new city live side by side. While one enchants, by way of its many tiny towers and gables, the other fascinates with its semicircular shell-like buildings, and the city's concert hall is a truly futuristic sight. The central business district's underground city makes it possible to shop in a pleasant environment. There's everything here, including banks, bistros, and boutiques. Old Fort York is the setting for colourful parades and historical uniforms. At a height of 553 metres, the CN Tower is the highest freestanding building in the world. From a height of 440 metres, at the top, it provides a thrilling view across the city and down into the depths. When the weather's good, it's possible to see as far as 120 kilometres and the distant haze of Niagara Falls. The Skydome is located next to the CN Tower. This multifunctional sports arena, with its enormous proportions, has an extendable dome. Many types of sports events and concerts take place here. In 1849, horse-drawn carriages travelled along Yonge Street. Today, comfortable double-decker buses drive around the city's sights. The Casa Loma was the dream child of an eccentric Canadian multimillionaire, and today it's a museum. The mock medieval fortress has 98 rooms. The new Gothic Parliament buildings within Queen's Park were built between 1885 and 1892. We drive to the harbour at a dizzy height. The harbour's sombre warehouses have disappeared and made way for a park. Sailing boats and yachts lie at anchor, and there are numerous theatres, art galleries and restaurants. The sunset is in perfect harmony with Toronto's illuminated skyline. The old and elegant Royal York Hotel still exudes the charm of a grand hotel. Its wainscotings and massive chandeliers create a noble ambience. Railway memorabilia such as posters and timetables are often taken home as a nostalgic souvenir. The shining stainless steel train is ready to leave. This hotel on rails provides constantly changing scenery and first-class service. The main route of the Canadian Pacific Railroad dates back to 1885. It travels through Western Canada. The magic of this train journey can be experienced from an observation car. Outside, the magnificent landscape passes by. It's the perfect location from which to take photos. Passengers are welcomed with refreshments and snacks. The train's friendly and knowledgeable staff provide information on the route and details of each aspect of the journey. The landscape opens up. In the autumn light, dense forests and dark blue lakes create an enchanting scene. The wonderful variety of colour goes from ochre yellow and dark red to purple. For additional comfort, there's the Bullet Lounge, the Mural Lounge, and the Art Deco Bar. To ensure efficient service, everything is prepared well in advance. The train travels over countless bridges. Construction of this bold project began in 1881. During the inauguration ceremony, William Van Horn loudly exclaimed, "Everyone on board! We are going to the Pacific!" It's well known that travel broadens the mind and creates hunger. The Skyline Dome dining compartment exudes luxury. The freshly prepared high-class cuisine is reassuring on a long journey such as this. We make a short stop in Sioux Village. This is the idyllic meeting place of anglers and canoeists. Even when it rains, this part of Canada still has an air of romance. Passing endless cargo trains, we head to Winnipeg, the city of trees. It contains over 2 million trees and lies at the mouth of both the Red River and the Assiniboine River. This former settlement is now the 4th largest city in Canada. After a short stop in the Prairie Metropolis, we travel further west into the evening. Reflections on the shining steel are out of this world. The landscape is red as the evening sun colors the sky. Through endless wheat fields, the Canadian travels to Edmonton. In this, the capital of Alberta province, huge silos are located alongside the track. The high peaks of the Rocky Mountains come into view. This was a region of gold diggers, hunters and pioneers. Now, the most beautiful section of the journey begins. Jasper is the starting point of many interesting excursions in the mountain area. A cable car takes us up into the Rocky Mountains. This is a superlative mountain region with huge, majestic mountains, such as Mount Columbia, 3,747 meters above sea level. The National Park is an abundance of unspoiled nature. Its variety of animals is impressive. A moose relaxes within some bushes, whilst a deer moves playfully in a meadow. Torrential, raging waters surge across huge rocks. A magnificent rainbow enchants the senses and paints the sky with a kaleidoscope of colour. The solitude and silence are an unforgettable experience. This cute little bear is searching for honey, but is best kept at a safe distance. Old ramshackle-looking bridges cross steep canyons. Way down below, the wild river carves out its path. The roaring water floods into an abyss. The forces of nature usually put in a good performance. The Columbia Icefield is the largest continuous ice field in the Rocky Mountains. In some sections, the ice is between 600 and 900 meters thick. The journey on this special train is full of excitement and surprise. The glacier shines brilliant white and is part of the 325 square kilometre ice field. Water bubbles silently from beneath the dense ice. A strong wind blows across the rugged landscape. These fertile valleys are home to wapiti stag, elk, mountain goats and sheep. Within the huge forests, there are various types of conifer such as pine, spruce and fir trees. A canoe trip on the turquoise-coloured Lake Louise is a lot of fun. And it doesn't take much imagination to become an Indian warrior, idly paddling the lake. By chairlift, we arrive on Mount Whitehorn. there's a spectacular view of the Victoria Glacier and the summits of Bow Range. The shining blue Marleen Lake is situated in the valley of the 10 Peaks. This large lake is also featured on the back of the Canadian $20 note. The Chateau Lake Louise is one of the oldest and most beautiful railway hotels in the Rocky Mountains. It was built in 1924. The lobby is decorated with several animal trophies. The panorama is overwhelming. The gigantic snow-covered mountains unite with the dark blue sky and create a spectacular symphony that will remain in the memory for a very long time. The boat trip on the 22-kilometre-long Marleen Lake is surrounded by snow-covered mountain peaks. At its widest point, the lake is 2 kilometres wide. These famous Canadian postcard images can't be admired forever. We have to hurry. The impressive journey from Jasper down to the magnificent Pacific coast on the old 1950s train continues without a break. The view through the observation window turns the train journey into an amazing adventure. As the shining landscape passes by, it's difficult to comprehend the vastness of the terrain. The cloud-covered Rocky Mountains can still be seen from a distance, while the final rays of the sun fall on the high mountains, an unbelievable panorama. The last luxurious evening on the Canadian can begin. In the dawn mist, we travel alongside a river on which thousands of trees are transported to sawmills. Each year, Canada manufactures 150 million cubic meters of wood. We have arrived in Vancouver. The long journey through Western Canada has come to an end. The station is well designed and has excellent facilities. Daylight enters innumerable windows and fills the station with warm and wholesome light. Vancouver is also called the Pearl of Canada on the Pacific. This youthful, cheerful city has much alluring charm and international flair. The reflective glass towers that flank the narrow streets look fragile and almost transparent. And this dynamic city also boasts some large parks. Surrounded by a vast wilderness, the third largest city in Canada is a highly sophisticated metropolis and also an oasis of exquisite culture. modern harbour, cruise ships lie at anchor from all over the world. With its unusual roof, the Canada Palace is like a large and exaggerated version of a sailing ship. The harbour area is 150 kilometres long. The harbour centre is nearby. An external glass elevator travels up to the roof terrace of the Outlook. On a clear day, it's possible to see from Victoria as far as the snow-covered peaks of Mount Baker. The round trip on the modern SkyTrain passes the towering glass structure of Science World. Part of False Creek leads from the sea through the city and flows past the Plaza of Nations. Our aquabus glides across rolling waves until it reaches the mouth of a river. Sheltered bays are ideal for water sports and sunbathing. For those with a cultural disposition, there are various museums. The Glass Ball is a contemporary technical museum. To gain a better understanding of how they work, it's permissible to touch many of the exhibits for a hands-on experience. Stanley Park is a wonderful place to relax, and a horse and carriage is a good way to get around. There's also a zoo and an aquarium. This intriguing collection of totem poles originated from numerous Native American Indian tribes. Many of the objects were purchased by the city of Toronto in 1912. On a rock, there's a mermaid in diving attire. This chain bridge was once the largest in the entire British Empire. The Dr. Sun Chinese Garden was designed by Chinese garden architects for the World Exhibition. Tiny decorative bridges cross over the canals, while gentle water lilies float serenely on dark ponds. The Gold Rush and the construction of the railroad brought the first Chinese immigrants to Canada. With its narrow alleyways and traditional buildings, Vancouver's huge Chinatown is well worth a visit. Chinatown means colourful parades, music, celebration, and spectacular firework displays. The large houses in Yaletown date back to the turn of the century. Built in 1870, the steam clock whistles each quarter of an hour while letting off steam. In 1860, John "Gassy Jack" Dayton opened the first saloon in what was then a small woodcutter's camp. Since then, he's been thought of as the founder of today's carefree and pulsating city. Endless distances and ever-changing landscapes, comfort and luxury. Each of these has combined to make this journey an unforgettable experience. And it's far from easy to say farewell to the most inspiring and famous railway journey in the world, the Canadian.